Hey everybody, if you're thinking about buying a new home this year or your first home this year, and you're going to be getting a tax return this season, as I promised, here are some ways to optimize your tax return to help you buy your new house or your first house. Number one, pay down your debt. Yes, I know it's scary, but your credit score is a crucial factor that will determine your interest rate and approval amount. Paying off debt that reflects on your report is a good way to start. A good score that you want to keep in mind is anywhere from 670 to 739. Number two, down payment. Depending on the type of loan you'll be receiving, there is a minimum requirement for your down payment. This is separate from closing costs. Check with the lender. They can evaluate what type of loan you qualify for without running your credit. That's right, I said without running your credit. They're going to base this information on your income, your previous tax returns, your savings accounts, and they will evaluate what type of loan you'll be able to qualify for. Remember, do not submit an application. Number three, earnest money deposit. This is a deposit made to a seller showing a buyer's good faith, usually anywhere from 1 to 3% of the sales price. There is something called an option period, and your realtor can go over that with you. It's a time period that you pay for to be able to give you the time to get your appraisal done, inspection done, and if you choose to terminate your contract during that option period, you will get your earnest money back. There's other funds you won't get back, like the inspection. If you had to pay for appraisal, then you won't get that money back, or the option period money back. But the earnest money you will get back, and again, that's anywhere from 1 to 3% of the sales price. If you pass option period and then you decide to terminate, or you have to for whatever crazy reason, because there's definitely crazy reasons. If you have to terminate, then unfortunately you will not get that earnest money back because you've already passed the option period. Number four, a home inspection. This can run anywhere from $200 to $400, depending on the size of the home. Yeah, it doesn't sound like a big chunk, but it's just something to keep in mind. Number five, other closing costs. There's appraisals, origination fees, application fees, title insurance. Some of them are negotiable, but a lot of them are not. They're just standard. So buyers will have a certain set of closing fees that are designated for the buyers. Sellers will have the same that are designated for sellers. And then there's some fees that kind of overlap one another. Those are the ones that can be negotiated depending on who's going to pay for it. Is it going to be the buyer or is it going to be the seller? That's why I say some are negotiable, but most of them are not. They're set depending on if you're on the buyer side or on the seller side. But on average, expect to pay about 2 to 6% of the sales price when you're purchasing a home. That percentage is different if you're selling, but right now we're talking about buying a home, so expect 2 to 6% of the sales price. Hopefully this information was helpful. Again, we're in tax season right now. You're going to be getting those tax returns. And I know our first instinct is to say, I can go on this trip that I've been dying to go on, or I can go shopping and buy all the things that I've been wanting to buy all year long or through the holidays, whatever. But think about the bigger picture. Can that money go into your savings account to be used towards something you really need? Even if it's not purchasing a home. It could be buying a new car. You know you got to get a new car. So why don't you put the money aside for that? But when talking about buying a new home, there's so many things that you are expected to pay for, or things that you should definitely be saving up for, and the tax returns can be a good chunk of that. The takeaway from this, I'm hoping that you guys all get, is that the tax returns can be used for home purchasing in many different ways. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. Check out my next video on YouTube and click the subscribe button up top. This is Vanessa, your realtor, the realist on the real. See y'all next time.